Hey, what up, y'all? Yo, I am by no means any type of a specialist when it comes to living, but I'm trying my very best to grow, and in growing is causing me to do a lot of things outside of my previous comfort zone. The way I look at it, life is a beautiful blessing. But some people's blessings are others people's curses. And that's all right because it's about balance. It's actually even more so it's about transcending duality. A lot of times we hold on to these concepts of right and wrong and what must be done and what can't be done and all of this left and right and up and down and all of these opposites so much that we forget that they're just dualities of the same pole. And maybe the pole itself is what we need to focus a little bit more on. Because the way I think of it, life itself should be our greatest teacher. And if we're lucky, the relationship that we have with life should be our strongest one, our strongest bond, perhaps. Because once you start really diving into yourself and get into all that inner space that's underneath all of this outer stuff, I'm talking about that inner space that is not defined by this craziness I have on my face, this further craziness I have above my face, and just this physical shell. It's just a shell, man. I'm a goddamn hermit crab to say the least. My shell is nice and all, but it's just how I choose to decorate. It's not who I am. And I feel similarly with life. Because life is life. It is not my life. Life is too powerful to be owned. Life cannot be contained, limited, or restricted to a small chunk of it that I'm involved with. How the fuck can I tame something as great and grand as life and dumb it down and say my life and make it this small version of it compared to what it really is? We know how immersive life is. So I'm trying to improve my relationship with life. Instead of looking at it like my life, because usually when you look at it like, oh, my life, it's more of a reactive mentality. It's like, yo, why is my life always doing this to me? It's like, oh, this is my life. This is just how it works for me. Things always work out like this for me just because. And that could be looked at both positively and negatively. Strangely enough, it's all about the twist that you put on it. So what I'm trying to do is build my relationship with life to the point where, think about the relationship you have with people. Sometimes you may have a relationship in which you are the giver and you are constantly reaching out to that one person, seeing how they're doing. If they're a little bit down, you go out your way to kind of sprinkle a little bit of magic on them. You constantly go and visit them. You're the giver in that relationship. And you know what? The positive side of that's not a bad thing. Don't look at it like it's a bad thing. Because what that does is it strengthens those parts of you. If you're a giver, the commonality of yin yang is if you're a giver, then there's a taker. None of these sides are good or evil, okay? They're just different polarities. So if you're a giving person and you happen to be with a taking person, not necessarily relationship-wise, simply could be a moment in life. Maybe you're at work and there's someone who's a giver and a taker. Maybe you're walking down the street and there's someone who won't let you pass or something of that sort, These takers allow us to build our inner givers. Because, sometimes I'm a great giver, but the situation got to call for it. Like, I'm easy to give when I have an abundance of extra shit. I just hand it all out. But there's going to be a scenario presented to me that life is going to be communicating with me and be like, oh, you love to give when you have. What about when you don't? Let's see if you can still play the giving game when you ain't got shit. And I think I can, but then I'm going to have to prove it. And then when I'm going to have to prove it, I'm going to have to really see what the fuck I'm made of. And this is not, oh, my life is always like this. This is life trying to speak to us and trying to expand us into our true beingness. And there's a lot to us, man. There's a lot to us. We get comfortable with the small corners of ourselves that we know that make us feel good and that we put on presentation. But like, oh, you know what feels really this part of me feels fantastic. Yeah, whenever I'm in this zone, I feel confident and I'm the best. People laugh, people love me. It's great. I'm gonna make this piece every time I go out. I'm putting this piece forward. This piece has done great for me. This is my piece. And it's like, okay, you like that piece, huh? Well, can you be that peace when there ain't no peace in this outside world we live in? Oh, that's tricky. Well, you about this life, brother? Then you got to prove it. And that's how I look at life. Life is a teacher. Life is our best fucking friend that wants nothing but the best for us that we keep begging for. We are fucking begging life to give us this, that, and the other. And then life is like, oh, word. Okay, I got you. This is what you want. All right, you know what? You are worthy of that, but first you're going to need to work on this, that, and the other. And then it'll all come to you. You don't have to chase these dreams. These dreams will be chasing you. Okay, life, I got you. Once you listen to life, things are different, man. The conversations begin to be progressive. They evolve. They turn into conversations instead of just complaints about why things are the way they are or why they've never been how they should be and all this type of mess. Yo, in actuality and reality, the relationship we have with life, we need to cultivate. We need to treat it with respect because life is everything. And what we need to do is know that life isn't something outside of ourselves. And once you become harmonious with yourself, with this you-ness that you are, you realize that you-ness is elsewhere. It's not just here. It's not just there. It is everywhere. And then you can connect to it. And once you realize that magic, trust me, you are going to be sitting on sun rays. In fact, no, you're going to be sitting on clouds, skipping birds like skipping stones on sun rays. Yeah, it's going to be that wild. So, cultivate your relationship with life, okay? Do not be a victim, because believe it or not, a victim is just one of the sides of duality. What is it? A victim and a victor, right? None of these things really exist, man. There's a lot of space in between those, man. Not everything is just this or that. You know, we're caught to believe, get hooked up on, emphasize, focus on the this or the that. But yo, there's a lot of space in between that. And I feel like that's where life flourishes the most. So we got to get out of our comfort zone. That little piece of us that we feel that life communicates best with is because of the confidence we have in that piece of us. We feel like, yeah, this is our best us. So when you feel like you're on top of the world, all challenges are easy to take on. So let's really, 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 really get a better understanding with life, a better relationship, a much grander understanding. So that way, when life presents us with stuff, we're not the victims. We're not on the receiving end of some karmic, cocksucking garbage. We are creating. And if we are not creating, then we are conversing. And in a conversation, there are times where you talk, and there are times when you listen. And we have to balance that. Because we're too busy talking at life the whole time. We're like, yo, life, I want this, life that, life this. But we have to listen to what life has to say. Because life responds to us. Life wants us to be good. Life loves us. It's not that life loves certain people. Life loves all of us and rewards certain behaviors. What up, kitty kitty? See, look how good life is, man. Life is an amazing thing. Life is beautiful. So I say, life is what you make it, which makes you a creator. And we came from the Creator. So to create is godly. And life is our canvas to create upon. But let us not just bowl over life. And truly, let's treat life like a living canvas. Instead of giving us an opportunity to create upon and treating life like it's a table or a desk or something waiting for us, it's more like a pet that loves us and wants to be with us. But we got to be in harmony. I mean, if it ain't time to walk the dog, don't force him. Let's be in unity. I love y'all, yo.